Hello everyone, this is Naomi Denmother of EQ2 Traders Corner with the fifth and final chunk of the walkthrough for the Scrivener's Tale, which is a 24 quest line for trade skills in the Chaos Descending expansion for EverQuest 2. This one begins where the last one left off, where you are speaking with the recipes for Adventure Book. I am not going to go through this slowly enough that you can read along unless you do a lot of pausing. I really recommend that while you are doing the quest, you read the story. It's very well done and it's very interesting, and additionally, it contains clues as to what you're going to need to do next. This part, except for this first little bit right here, is not going to hold your hand. You're going to have to figure out what to do and where to go, because it's going to just tell you follow footsteps from in the story, which means you basically have to retrace what was done in the story to a certain point. He wants me to create one of the instruct edible cookies, which were the way that the baker communicated with the lady warrior, or the lady warrior communicated with the baker, I should say, before she went off to war and he was left behind in the bakery. When you finish this, I'll go through the ingredients since I forgot to tell you about them, but you will also receive a fluff version of the recipe, which will make 5 cookies, which are basically fortune cookies. So you can make fortune cookies to your heart's content. Each one you eat will put something in your chat message, whether it's lucky numbers or what have you. So it can be kind of fun to pay attention to that. You'll need only 1 deadly terror fruit, 8 wandervine fruit, 10 strangler root, and 50 celestial kindling for the quest version of it. Once you have that, you return to the tome, turn a few more pages, read some more story, and then he starts repeating himself. Just Erisly, the kingdom of wind. Erisly, the kingdom of wind. Erisly, the kingdom of wind. And you kind of get the idea that that's where he wants you to go. So do not have a jump failure. And head yourself towards the elemental portal gallery once again. And be ready for lovely eye candy. I think this zone is just absolutely stunning. With the others, you can see some of the negative effects that have been happening on the planes. But in here, it's not as easy to notice, so it is just much prettier than like Vegarlson, which was the Badlands. There was all sorts of stuff there that probably shouldn't have been, like those cinder wasps. I am sorry, I'm misspeaking. The cinder wasps are in Doomfire, but anyway, there's things there that shouldn't be. The water's unhealthy. It gives you damage when you walk in it and so forth. So the other zones just look like they've been hit a little harder by everything that's going on. So once you're here, the recipes for Adventure Book is right there. There's that fluff version of the cookie recipe, and it makes up to 5 cookies for you. Nom 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 nom. And it gives you another golden fleck. Go through more of this wonderful story, and then it tells you that you're going to place the ethereal offerings. Well, the quest tells you that it's because it's an offering to Zegany, so that she will help, because this is Zegany's realm. And there's a nice handy workbench here, so you might as well use it. And you will need 3 golden fleck, which are the rare for the ore, 24 nimbic hide, 12 silver fleck, which is the common ore, 25 strangler root, and 50 celestial coal. Now, of course, the one little thing here is that This is messing up the waypoint whisk that you were automatically granted. Look at where it is on the map, that orange dot, because you get a quest update between when you get there and when you got the waypoint. The quest update will wipe out that wisp in a moment. But just be aware you're up there to the northwest and you're going to the southeast of this little part of the zone. As you can see there, I'm zooming out. It's a much bigger zone than it looks at first. Thankfully, you don't have to fly great distances. You just have to fly this little part from where your red arrow is to where the orange dot is a lot. Because there's a portal there that leads to the central portal area in the middle of the zone. It makes it a little easier. However, I'm not going straight cross-country, because while you can do that, and as long as you're confident about that, you're fine, I want to show the squishier people where the safer route is so they don't have to climb so high up into the sky and so forth, because there are things in the air as well as on the ground here. So I've made my offering to Zegany. I'm going to avoid all the aggro, like those Nilborians over there, and there's a whole bunch of air elementals and things like that. So I'm just going to fly around the edge. See, there's an air elemental down there. Another one there. So they're all over the place. Much easier to just go out here. Ignore all the nodes calling your name. Ignore the pretty waterfall going down into the distance. Look way up there, see the Bixel hive. Look at this portal. Know it, love it. Hug it if you feel so inclined. But for right now, you're going beside it and placing the offering, which is a lovely batch of golden roses. Now, mentally remember where that portal is. You will be coming back here in a moment, but for now you need to speak with the tome. And you're going back to speak with the tome enough times that, well, you're not going to have enough evac items that can recycle in a short enough time to evac every time. So you will be flying back and forth once in a while unless you are taking much longer pauses to harvest and craft and everything else. There's that glowing wind portal in the distance. That is the zone exit there, but it looks exactly like the other portal, so do try to keep track of where you are. So go back to the recipes for adventure, get the reward, get more story. Then he tells you baking seed-based food, after talking about the aviacs. So, your quest journal just says, follow the footsteps mentioned in the story. You take the fact that he was talking about aviacs and the fact that he's talking about seed-based food, and you're going up to the Eyrie, which is that area way over there. It's a much longer flight than it looks, so we're not going to fly all the way there. We're going back to that portal that I told you to learn. Once you are there, it just says travel. And you are on Crosswind Isle. You will not need to use this portal as a crafter, the Precipice of Wind. You will need it as an adventurer. Here's where the Eyrie portal is, the Feather. Where you just came from is called the Wind Glades. And later you will want to know where the Bixel hive is. So all of those portals are here. Bloop. And you're in the Eyrie. Take a moment to get your bearings, see the portal, see all the aggro around, including some spiders that are kind of nasty. And you're going right over there to Adjex the Hungry. Sometimes there is an aviac, a Zephyrin, that will be right in front of his area or flying overhead. So the easiest way to do it is to come in up high and then dive down. And when you dive down, you get the recipe for a satchel of birdseed. And I got up and out of the way just in time. I'm trying to show you. Down there, there's a Zephyrin Wind Dancer that just landed in front of there. So you can see why I came in at the angle I did, because I don't want to fight. I just want to do my quest. Whine, whine. So find the recipe, the satchel of birdseed. Scribe it. You need 3 deadly terror fruit, 30 reef cluster, 9 silvered fleck, 12 nimbic hide, 50 celestial kindling, and a partridge in a pear tree, or an aviac in a nest, something like that. But there is a handy dandy stove and keg here. There is not one at the Bixel Hive, but you will need a stove and keg there. It's handy to remember where this is, because you're going to be very close to the Bixel portal, and then from there you can go to the Airy portal. So it's just a couple of quick portal hops without having to zone or summon anything if you want. Or you can go home and do your crafting and come back, whatever way works for you. But there is a stove and keg here, and it's just a portal hop away from where you will be for the Bixel Hive part. So you can keep track of that if you so desire. Finish the seed. Bop down into his nest. Click on him to give it to him. Or right click if you want. Look at the beautiful peacock plumage on him. Head back to the portal. Actually, this time I'm going to be lazy. I've got a couple evacs that I can use, so I might as well use one. It'll recycle before the end. Once you're back at the front of the zone, get more of the story. Then he starts talking about the Bixels and protect the hives, protect their hives, protect their hives. Yeah, he really gets a little fixated on what he wants you to do without actually coming out and saying, make this. So again, it says, follow the footsteps mentioned in the story. Well, the story mentioned the Bixels, it mentioned protecting their hives, so you're going to go help the Bixels. And by doing all of these things, you are retracing the steps of somebody that Zegany favored very much, and you're going to learn about the origin of the first Zephyrin. Not the first Nilborians. I am having so many problems with words today. I'm just going to give up. You read the story, learn about it for yourself. Travel to the Bixel Hive. Take several steps forward. Boom. You have a recipe for sticky honey trap. You need to make 5. So you're going to need a bunch of materials, including 250 celestial kindling. So multiply everything on the ingredient list by 5. Now I'm going to show you what I was talking about before, of where to get to the stove. You've traveled. Travel again. Fly up. Make sure you're not getting any aggro. Fly down. You're at the stove and keg. To return, your portal's up there on the hill, and you can go back to the Bixel Hive. I'm going to pause now and do the 5 combines. I finally looked at my spreadsheet so that I can tell you you are going to need 20 deadly terror fruit, 60 basilisk meat, 125 reef cluster, 90 nimbic hide, and 250 celestial kindling for this step. And of course, I was too busy looking at my notes instead of looking at the screen, so I had the stove bite. Ooh, ah, ooh, not that it hurt that much. Okay, I have my 5 sticky honey traps, and I am going to head back to the Bixel hive. The Bixels are aggro, so be aware of that. Their sensing distance is relatively short, thankfully. So even though you're helping them, they're going to get angry at you if you get too close. Nice bright yellow glowy spots on the ground are where you're going to be placing the honey traps. They respawn relatively quickly, so if for one reason you can't find one or somebody else is in here doing stuff, you should be able to get these done relatively quickly. And as you can see, I can get fairly close without them jumping on me, but you still want to be careful. I am not going to resist this sky shiny, air shiny, wind shiny. There we go. Place another trap. Now the fifth one is up near the queen. Actually, there's more than 5, that's correct. So you don't have to go all the way up to the queen. After you've placed them all, you will then be returning to the tome. And since I already blew my evac, I'm going to take the long way. And I will stop moving before I actually click the portal. It might help a little bit. And then back we go to the entrance of the zone. You're almost done. Really, 2 more quests to go. You're in the home stretch. And this next quest is one of the reasons why I decided that I wanted to do a video walkthrough for the quest series. Because, again, you're working in 3 dimensions here, and waypoint wisps can get a little iffy when you're looking at stuff that's above stuff, below stuff, and so forth. It can be hard to find something when you're just working off a waypoint, and I want you to be able to visually see it. So, more of the story. Turn the page. And they're talking about a great nest after crying out to Zegany for help. So your first step is to cry. Your next step is to either craft the illusion here or save yourself some travel time because you're about to end up in a flight illusion and it's just kind of a pain to be bobbing and weaving with it. So I tend to prefer to travel to where I need to go first and then swap myself into the illusion. I could craft it and travel and then equip it, but it's easier for me to just do it this way. You do whatever way works for you as long as you craft it before you try to get the update of having it on, of course. Okay, you're back where you were before. There's your Ajax the Hungry has turned into Ajax the Sated. You're going to fly this direction. Use this nest ahead of you as a point of reference, but don't go to it. Dive underneath through some low-hanging branches, and looky here. Underneath all of the area is this one little nest. Cleverly hidden. A pain to find with a waypoint wisp. And now you're going to need a portable desk, or an engraved desk in your guild hall or crafting house, or however you want to do it. You want a Celestial Nilborian Mount Illusion. And it will need 24 Reef Cluster, 35 Flitter Fin Tang, 75 Nimbic Hide, 75 Strangler Root, and 50 Celestial Incense. That's one lot of ingredients for an illusion, but it's a mount illusion, and Nilborian are pretty beefy, and you're doing all this magical stuff, so you need extra oomph. Or something like that. You know, you gotta find some way to justify it. Where the simple fact is that the higher the tier, the more resources are required. It's just one of those facts of EQ2 life. And now I'm showing my age because I've got the song Facts of Life running around in my head as an earworm. Yes, I saw that as a kid. And for some reason, this combine just seems to move more slowly than some of the others. Nowhere near as bad as the Plains of Prophecy combines, but still, it tends to fight with me more often than the other recipes do. It's probably just a perception thing, but I've never liked the engraved desk. I only do my Sage because, well, I want one of everything and I need to test everything. But it's one of the reasons I keep my sound effects turned pretty low, because I have issues with the high-pitched sound effects that they use for the scribing desk. It is what it is. But because, well, I'm Mum, I've got to do the persnickety bit and say that the desk knows that it's me doing the combine and is purposely slowing down because of it. Because, well, that's just sort of the mum persona thing to do. But when I finally get it done, I then go look in my mount window. Under C, I find the illusion. I use the illusion. And it is a mount. I am flying up, up, and away. Now I'm going to fly back down, zoom out so you can see a little more. I got my update and now it tells me to speak with the tone. But while I'm here, this is also, if I can get my cursor to work properly while I'm in the way, move my fat wings, and it's markable. So now everybody knows I've been there. Be still my beating heart. I'm going to evac to the front of the zone. A couple things to note about that illusion. It does replace your mount. It does not have any mount stats on it other than the travel speed, and it can only be used in this zone, the Erisli, the Kingdom of Wind Overland Zone, because that is the only place the art is. And there's only so many things that they want in the worldwide art pack as opposed to in just a specific zone. So the mount only works here, and you can have as much fun as you want. Maybe do some Nilborian races at some point where everybody has to be on the Nilborian and go race through the zone, whatever, you know. Or just have fun doing little loop-to-loops and things like that. It will not protect you from aggro. Those Nilborians are still aggro, but you are now in the shape that was the first Nilborian, which were the warrior and her baker love. They were turned into Nilborians. And while I'm right here, I'm going to do this so that I don't end up walking at a snail's pace when I get into Mirist again. Hail the recipes for adventure. Get your status and coin. Zone into Mirist. And realize that, well, you didn't have any quest left in your journal. And that is because the book doesn't know to tell you who's looking for you, because the book is only interested in telling its tale, period, end of discussion. However, You just received mail. And it's from Gita saying that she needs your help. The Scrivener wants to speak to you, and she's going to help with the translating because the Scrivener cannot talk. He will be in the mezzanine, which is the second floor ring around the first floor there. So you will need to look at the little blue dot, realize that it's above you, and head for the elevator. And make sure that you remember what east and west are, because otherwise you'll start running around in the wrong direction, just like I did, and take even longer to get where you need to be. And this is the final step, so the quest is only called the Scrivener's Tale. There is no sub-name to it or anything like that. And it's 6 of one, half dozen of the other, whether you go counterclockwise or clockwise, since you're going roughly halfway around. And there he is, and now you can see exactly why he doesn't speak. Because once my pet's out of the way, he's not really alive. He's just some animated thing, and Gita's going to translate. Gesture, gesture, pound fist, all of that. He wants his book back. And you have to apologize for the fact that the Recipes for Adventure book left the library. It was not properly checked out or anything. It just decided it was going to go, and you followed it, listening to its story. So you tell them that, he told you a story, etc., etc. Give the book back to the Scrivener, and then Scrivener wants you to do something else. And thank goodness Gita's had many years of translating to figure out what you're supposed to do. You need to go take a certificate and speak with the 4 people that you helped in the zone and have them tell how you helped them. So I decide that I'm going to start on the first floor with the conservatory and with Temri's boss. I helped Temri more than her, but she's the one that makes it sound more official, so she's the one I speak with. Then I go from there to the south, and we'll speak with Delindra. Bounce off a few walls. I do that in real life. Trained attack furniture, I might as well do it here as well. Depth perception is not always a handy thing for me. So I'm done with the first floor. Another quarter turn around the library and I'll be at the elevator. And I can deal with the 2 people on the second floor south wing. Up I go. One is in the Smith's gallery, one is in the Crafter's gallery. And both those port pads are in this room, so just pick one, go up it. Morndax. He just rubs me the wrong way. And then you talk to Raymond. Soup. Soup would be good. Yeah, I'm tired. And then you've got to go back to Gita, who is still standing next to the Scrivener. Ignore the bit that's going to show up in a minute on the reward for the beta reward, because, well, obviously that's not going to be on live. But you hand this over to Gita. She fills in her part and then tells you that you've been immortalized in a book. And it's even got your name on it when you loot it. It's got your personal name as well as the Planar Adventures bit. And you will find that it is very similar to the non-stat version, and I've got the adventure version here. Maybe I don't have the crafting version on me, so I can't show you a comparison properly. But the normal sensor of containment has this same Master Crafter's expertise and the amount of progress gained, and it summons a fuel merchant. The one thing to note is that not everybody is going to have earned their sensor, because a lot of people now are using the crafting buff bauble and bypassing a lot of content. Also, you can now, because they are on separate timers, use the sensor to summon a fuel merchant and use the Planar Adventures to summon a fuel merchant within the same hour. So you can now summon twice per hour. So to show you what he looks like, I equip it, I summon, as soon as the art draws, there we go, a Jan. So again, he's on a separate timer than your sensor, so that you have two items that will do that. They also fit in different slots. You will notice there are 3 white charm slots. And this is a crafter item. So those will fit crafting nails. We have been assured that there are going to be white adorns for those charm slots. We have not seen them on beta. They went into the final live build that will go live in, a day and a half-ish. But we have not received a final beta patch, so we do not get to see them here, but we have been told there will be trade skill adornments that we can put in those 3 slots. In addition, you've gotten all those lovely rewards from throughout the line, and presto changeo, toggle appearance on your pony. And he's now a pack snail. And of course it's really hard to get a good look at him because he keeps turning around to face me. But he's a happy little snail. That's just an optional appearance. If you've done Planes of Prophecy, then he'll have 3 appearances. The normal pony, and the Planes of Prophecy Cephalo-illusion, and the pack snail. So you can have a snail follow you around. This concludes the walkthrough. There's a lot more information about the expansion, about trade skills in the expansion, and so forth. You will find all of that in the Chaos Descending Information Clearinghouse, which is linked in over at eq2.eqtraders.com. There will be full write-ups on all 24 of the quests for those times when you don't want the video, you just want the write-ups with locations and resource lists, shopping lists, whatever you want to call them. You can get all of that over on the site. Thanks for watching.